I worked to map out this content strategy, basically the way in which we approach adding new content to a website for the purpose of a new person that we're trying to hire for Alchemy. And in going through this, I realized this might be helpful to anybody who has a small or medium-sized business, anybody who's really managing their own website and they're not really sure how to go about improving it over time. So what I'm really going to do is just kind of give kind of our secret sauce away on how you can improve your website over time. Again, this is exactly what we would do if you hire us. But if you're short on budget and you have the time, I think this is a great workflow that you can use yourself to enhance your own website. So really this is broken down into kind of three macro steps. First we have create. So this is creating new content on the website. The second thing we do is enhance. So that's typically enhancing existing content you already have based on what's working. And then thirdly, sharing. It's kind of not just sharing in social media, but really asking yourself the question, who would value this content and how can I get this content into their hands? And so the way we approach creating is really starting from first principles. We first ask ourselves, what are people actually searching for online? It really doesn't make sense to create content for a website that isn't answering a question or solving a problem that people don't actually have. So the first thing we do is, you probably heard the term keyword research, kind of coming up with what people actually are searching into Google. There's a couple of different approaches. The ones that we have really good success with really fall into two buckets. The first thing we do is we look at our Google ads that we're running. So this might get a little technical here, so even though I'm going to go into a little bit of detail, you can kind of just gloss over this and just know that in a macro concept, all we're talking about is finding out what people are searching for online. And so to get a little bit into the details here, one thing we'll do is if we're running ads, let's say this is for like an AC repair company, we're going to be showing our ads to a lot of people, whether they're typing AC repair or not. They could be typing in AC repair near me. They could type in HVAC repair. They're really just an unpredictable amount of search queries that people are typing into Google that may trigger your ads. So what we'll typically do on a kind of regular basis, typically on a monthly basis, is we'll look at all the search terms that people actually typed in to trigger ads, and we'll look for ones that we don't have an existing landing page already for. So again, it's really just to back up just a little bit further. Again, we're just scanning through to see what people are actually typing into Google. Another strategy we'll use is we might use a tool like ahrefs.com. They have a really good tool for coming up with the questions that people might be asking into Google. You might give them a topic. So again, you might take in something like AC repair, and they might spit out a bunch of different questions that people could be asking based on actual Google data. So that's really helpful as well too. You can make a search and you could see in the related searches at the bottom of Google other things that people might be typing in. But in general, all we're doing here is we're just coming up with the actual things that people are typing into Google. Because if we know what they're looking for, we can begin to put ourselves into the head of that user, ask what is their intent, what information can we give them to solve the problem, what solution can we offer, and so this is sort of how we go about that research to begin with. So again, looking through your historical data and your Google ads. A PPC just stands for pay-per-click. It's just shorthand for the type of advertising that we're talking about here. And Ahrefs, looking at related searches. If you have an account with Google Search Console, you can also look at search queries. So there's a few different ways here. I don't want to get into the weeds, but just conceptually know that this is finding out what people are searching for. After we have that list, we're really asking ourselves a question, which is how easy is it to convert someone who's making this search? So how likely is it that after they've made this search and they've maybe landed on your website that they're going to turn into a lead, turn into a sale? How likely is it they're going to pick up a phone and actually talk to you? If the answer to that question is yes, it is easy to convert that person. An example, again, just sticking with the AC repair, would be someone typing in AC repair near me. AC handyman near me, AC repair company. This person is probably very, very close to picking up a phone because they're really looking for some sort of service. And if you feel that just presenting them a little bit of information about what your company does, what distinguishes you, and then basically just throwing out a phone number, throwing out a contact form, lead them to convert, then what I recommend from there is well, first, to create a new ad group in your Google Ads that targets that specific search query. Again, I'm getting a little into the weeds now, so you don't need to worry too much about what that means. But ultimately, you want to create a new landing page on your website that is geared at answering a few questions. It's first communicating what the problem is. So in the case of AC repair, okay, so your problem is that your AC repair is broken and it's warm inside your house and you're sweating. It's just gross. It's the thing you want to avoid. The next thing you're kind of communicating is what's the ideal outcome. So you're in the situation where the AC is not working, you're sweating, you feel gross. You want to be living in a house where it's nice and cool and you're comfortable. So you're sort of painting the ideal, but you're also painting the thing they want to move away from. And then you're communicating really what can you do to make that happen. Well, in short, you can call us at 24/7. We'll come out in an emergency and we'll fix your AC unit and you'll be back to living in a cool, comfortable environment. That sort of thing. That's sort of what I mean by a landing page. And if you're easy to convert, then it makes a lot of sense to pay for ads to send them to that landing page. So this is sort of one sort of approach. I'm starting with what are they searching for? Can they be converted easily? And if so, let's go ahead and create a landing page speaking to how we can solve their problem. And maybe even let's put some money behind it through some Google Ads. On the other hand, if what they're searching for is unlikely to convert on their first go. So an example here would be someone typing in, why is my AC unit making a funny noise? Right? So if someone's typing in, why is my AC making a funny noise? They're not necessarily looking to pick up a phone and hire a technician to come out immediately. They're really doing some research. They're really trying to maybe even figure out for themselves what the problem is. In that particular case, they're not easy to convert into a lead. What we really want to do is just create, we can say like a blog post, but really what we're doing is we're just creating new content on the website that is anticipating the questions that the searcher will have and then answering them on that page. So if we have information about what could be causing a weird noise in your AC unit, we want to give them that information. Typically what I'll do is I'll think what other questions might they have after that, and I'll try to answer those as well too. So answer the initial question, answer any additional questions they might have afterwards. They don't have to go back to Google and do additional searches. And then if you tie this back to the service you offer, even better. So here's why your AC unit might be making some funny noises. Here are some other questions that you might have now that you've gotten this answer. And if the problem looks like this, you may need an AC repairman to come out and look at it. We do that service. Here's our number, give us a call. So there's some likelihood that you could convert them there on that blog post page. But at the very least, if you're helpful, then you build a relationship with them, and if they ever do need AC repair services in the future, kind of like the near exposure effect. Now that they've been exposed to you, they're actually just more likely to give you their business. So that's sort of our approach to content where people are searching, but they're not easy to convert. So we make content that is as helpful as possible and typically a little less promotional of your own services because you're just trying to kind of lead with value. And in that particular case, anytime we create a new blog post or an inbound marketing post, we just share it to social media. So, once you've written it, you just copy the link, share it, might as well sort of thing. So that's sort of our approach for creating content on a new website. The next approach we have is the enhanced step. So all we're really doing here is we're asking ourselves the question, what is doing well? And that can mean a few different things. One of the metrics I'll look at is how well is a page converting. So if we have a page that is, already has a nice conversion rate, I might just take a second pass at it and say, how can we make it even better? An easier approach to this might be something to go like analytics, your Google Analytics, then go to the behavior tab where you can sort your most viewed pages. What's going to happen is you're going to find that you're going to have a list of your pages, and some pages are going to have a lot of traffic, and then it's going to fall off. There's like sort of this 80-20 rule where, there's a lot of pages out here that are getting very, very little traffic. So the question is, what are these pages up here that are getting a lot of traffic? And since people are already seeing them, how can we improve them? So that's pretty simple here. So we're creating new content in this case. In this case, we're looking at our analytics. We're asking what is doing well, what's getting a lot of eyeballs, and then how can it be improved? What One next step here is if you are making big changes to a page that's already getting a lot of traffic, it might make sense to do an A/B test. So rather than making the change kind of permanent for all users, you might say, hey, you know what? I really think that this page would be benefited from adding this infographic that explains this concept. So one thing I might do is I might show 50% of the traffic, like the original page, and then I might show 50% of the traffic, the new page that has the graphic, and then after a month or two of looking at this traffic, I will see which version is doing better. And what I mean by doing better is which one is turning into more contact form submissions, which one is turning into more phone calls, that sort of approach. So again, what's doing well, how can it be improved? And if it's a kind of a risky change you want to make to the page, I might do an A/B test. One of the services I use for A/B test is VWO.com. I think that stands for Visual Website Optimizer, something like that. But this is a good service you can use for yourself if you want to ask the question, hey, what if I change the verbiage here? Hey, what if I made this page red instead of blue? What if I took this content on the page and I moved it up above this content? How would that affect conversion rates? So I think A/B testing is very, very helpful in that regard. And this is the platform I personally use for A/B testing. So again, back to content strategy. This is kind of our approach to creating new content for the website. This is our approach to enhancing what's already there. And then finally, when it comes to actually sharing, we're asking the question, who might value this information? And at the end of the day, if you really are creating content that is helpful and is valuable, then you want to get it into the hands of the people that would value it. You're going to do obvious things like share the content to social media as you create it. But I think also there's opportunities to get your content shared on other websites. If you find an article that is, say, tangentially related to what you're talking about, we've had success, reaching out to third-party websites and being like, hey, we have this content you might be interested in. Maybe you're interested in linking to it from this article. Your readership might find article helpful as well too. And so there's an opportunity to link build as well too, which has some benefits for SEO. Again, if you're watching this, you probably already kind of know that part. Another thing I've had really good success with is Facebook ads for really valuable content. Specifically with remarketing. If you've ever been to a website and then you leave that website and you feel like their ads are just following you around the internet no matter where you go, that's called remarketing. And I think Facebook gives you a good opportunity to remarket in a really tasteful and helpful way. So instead of someone leaving your website and you're just flashing your logo in front of them and say, hey, call us, just asking for the business, what I like to do is I actually like to take one of my most helpful articles, something that I think someone would actually want to read, and actually put some money behind remarketing to people with that article. So I work for a really nice steakhouse in Orlando, and we got this pretty good article on how to properly store wine. And we've noticed that when we remarket with that particular content, so as we're making an ad that shows people this content, hey, how to properly store wine, brought to you by this brand, we have like 2 to 3 times the click-through rate than we do just having an ad that just has our logo and says, hey, we have the best steak in town, come in, So I think having truly helpful and valuable content allows you to remarket in a much more tasteful and helpful way rather than just annoying people. And I think the data really speaks to how successful that is, because so many more people are clicking on ads that are to helpful posts rather than just promoting a brand. So again, just kind of wrap everything up again. Our content strategy that we kind of do on a regular, typically a monthly basis, is we'll scan for what people are searching for. We'll ask ourselves, like, what is their intent? Like, how can we move them closer to the thing they want? If they're easy to convert, we'll create a landing page. We might even throw some paid ads behind it. If they're not easy to convert, we'll just try to be as educational as possible. Typically longer form content. So rather than like a landing page, it might be more like a blog because it's more text heavy. Hopefully with some graphics that will explain whatever concepts you need to. We look at Google Analytics and our Google Ads as well too. We ask, what is doing well, what's getting a lot of eyeballs. We ask how can it be improved. If we make any big changes, then we might do an A/B test to only show the changes to a percentage of the people that are visiting it, see which one converts better. And then finally, we ask ourselves who might value from this information, share it on social media, see if we can get things from other pretty websites. And then again, I like to, I'll write this here, just marketing. I like to use Facebook ads to remarket with some of our most valuable content. So that's sort of our content strategy. And just to wrap this up, I think that you can use this yourself if you manage your website. This is an explanation of really the job that we're hiring for right now for Alchemy. So if you're watching this and actually know anybody that would be interested in working with us doing this workflow, that's sort of what we're putting the feelers at right now for that next hire. And I hope you found this helpful and informative, and see you next time. Thanks.